Anyway, now we've been talking about the breath and reaction to breathing causing certain things to happen. And we realize that there are ways to breathe that make us sing better and ways to breathe that prevent us from singing. If I breathe wrong, I can't sing at all. But if I breathe correct or even sometimes half correctly, it's enough for me to sing. Now, once I breathe in a way that sucks the air down like this and takes my throat down, and everything relaxes up here. And all of my work is the sucking in power, right? What Caruso called the massive power of the respiration. Required, he said. Required for great things. So you want to suck your air way down your lower back. Some people breathe in their butts, by buttocks, and John Sullivan breathed up her rectum. Everybody's trying to breathe very, very low down in the back. And once you do that, though, you start getting reactions, right? Now, once I've got the breath down there, I can depend on the reactions of the breath and sing that way. But there are other things that we can do that affect the voice like crazy, and you decide what you want to do with all of these things, if you want to use them all. And in yoga, which yoga really develops the breathing like mad, because you're always breathing in extreme postures. It makes you lean here. It makes your back close while you're if you sing in the posture, your back will be closing like that while you're singing. The breath will be pressed here. So there are all these things. If you do a lot of yoga, it teaches you stillness, and you'll feel one little movement like that. One little movement that gets out of place and can interfere with your voice, and that's all you need sometimes to make you crack, because something let go, or something got stiff. Remember I showed you in one video I touched the throat and the voice stopped, remember? So the idea is to learn to do nothing here. Keep this constantly, I won't even say open, because it's open below there, it's open this way, and it opens vertically. My trachea opens all the way down, like that. Breathe. And now my throat is open vertically, and now what am I going to do? See, now I'm going to do something that I don't need to do to sing, but it also makes an effect, and it comes from yoga. It's called breath of fire. Now, breath of fire, you've got to have the breath already, and the breath's got to be very down low, and then you, right about this far below your navel, halfway to your pubic bone, right in the center of your abdomen, you breathe in and pull it in, and you let it out, exhale. So you go, like that. If you can achieve that speed, when you sing, it's going to have a tremendous effect on your voice. My voice now is placed down there because that's where I'm active, right? And it's also moving like this because I've trained myself over years and years. I did karate and also Tai Chi and yoga and all kinds of things. But it makes the breath work like mad. Now, if I do that, I used to sing Cavalry Staccato that way. And I'd sing it like this. You be as dramatic as you want to be, if you have the strength. And I was younger also in those days. So I'm not making excuses. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy I can still croak out a noise. But the idea is to breathe and then sing. You take a really deep breath first, and then you do that. Remember this one? My nose is automatically closed when I do that. And the voice goes up there, way up in my head somewhere. I don't know. See? So the idea is I wanted to mention this, that yoga does all kinds of wonderful things that happen. And one of them is this breath of fire business. Breathe in like mad and pull your abdomen in. And breathe way down behind you. And don't let this all come up. Keep the shoulders out of it completely. And go. If I snore again. You don't hear me making any kind of phony vibrato. It's not about that. It's about energy. You feel tired, you do breath of fire, you'll feel better. You'll have more energy. I know it sounds weird. And Japanese call that spot down there hara. And the Koreans call it tanjun. And the Chinese call it tantian. So it has all these names. And that spot is considered in all the sort of martial arts and yoga practice, like, well, I mean, not yoga, but Far Eastern Asian practices of things like yoga and Tai Chi, and especially fighting, especially karate and all that stuff. It's all done around the center. And the hara is the center, or the tanjun in Korean and the tantian in Chinese. So how do we get that down there? Well, we get it by breathing. We breathe our way to it till we find it. You don't have to wiggle. You can just stay there. See, if I want to be much, can you hear this thing? Listen. So these ways of singing that free the throat gets completely free, and the resonance, as you see, disturbs the air enough to move metal. That's what you want to do when you're singing in big theaters. You have breath stop techniques that will place the breath stop. See, one of them was like say on the lips. That was Fernando del Che, taught John McCormick and George Teal, who was the superstar of the Paris Opera. And but all three of them made historical careers. John McCormick actually he sold more recordings than Caruso did. And why? How did they sing those? See? Think about it. So they sang with a breath stop on the lips, like this. Pa, pa. And then you keep that and you add the breath of fire. You hear, see? I've got pictures of Caruso demonstrating the, I don't know where it is though. Got all these pictures. Oh, here's one right here. This is Caruso demonstrating the mouth formation for singing an ah vowel. See that? Next to him is a baby showing how a little baby does it. You'll notice that the corners of the mouth are back in both cases. The tongue is down against the lower lip, and the lower lip is protruding in both cases, right? And the adult singer is not showing any teeth, and the baby singer is not showing any gums. So they're actually doing the same thing. Look at that. So somewhere along the way, the great Italian singers were taught to hold the mouth in that posture. The Lombardi school was to make an oval with the mouth and maintain an oval all the time. Or you can just do baby. You go, ah. Where is that? I'll do breath of fire again. See what I mean? So there are ways, believe me not, I think well, maybe I'll do a videotape on enhancing the resonance, because that's what we're talking about. You have to have a body that's younger than mine. And to find that kind of energy. But I'm doing as well as I'm doing, I'm sure, because I did all that stuff in the past. You know, I did well, let's just say a lot of breathing, a lot of work. The Japanese, the Koreans had no horses. So when the Mongols were invading all of Asia and conquering all of Asia, they invaded Korea, and they had horses, and they used bow and arrow on horseback, and they're all experts. And the Koreans didn't have any horses, so they had to develop a way to fight them off. And that's where all that high jumping that comes, they jump way up in the air and do a spin kick and knock a man off a horse. It's amazing. When you see demonstrations of what these people could do, the Chinese then also developed a tremendous kicking system. There was more like a grasshopper. You'd go from 2 feet, go throwing like that, and get themselves way up in the air, and they could kick you on top of the head, but so could the Koreans. So the idea is, by doing that, all your energy is really flowing like mad into the legs, and you keep doing it, and then you get yourself centered between your legs and your upper body, and you watch the way people do Tai Chi. The first thing they do is bend their knees, and you go down, and then you move around. Everything is in slow motion, but you're moving around the center, which is that far below your navel. If I sing there, what do you think of that sound? Is it a good sound, or should I go, is that better? Right? Yeah, I've got to find out which sound is the best. And you know what I figured? Maybe I like this sound better, but this is the only sound I can make and get through 5.5 hours of operas over and over and over again. And that's this one. Well, do nothing. Dame Ava Turner, who sang the first Turandot in London, came to New York to that school that I was in at the Metropolitan Opera School called the Catherine Law School. And she would give master classes, but there were only 6 of us in the class, so she almost could teach like private lessons. But anyway, she used to say, invisible throat, invisible tongue, invisible jaw. She said, nothing is there. You should feel like you can pass your hand through this area, and there's nothing there. It's invisible. So if you do that, you set it up to be non-active, so inactive that you don't feel anything. And then you look down below, and you can use breath of fire. You can sing. You can do a miniature cough on your navel. That's what Pavarotti did. As long as you sing down below and do something down there and nothing up here, your voice will sound good. Breath of fire takes a lot of energy, and I never could do it all the way through the big operas. I did it in Cavalleria, which is Cavalleria Rusticana, which is a 1-act opera. And I could do it there, then I could use it in sections and little scenes. I could do it, use it, let's just say use it sparingly and carefully, so you end up, after 5.5 hours, able to sing the big aria, which is that's what Meister singer has. One of the most difficult arias, because it stays up there and stays up there. Another was Rosenkavalier. And you do that, it's a high tessitura piece, and they don't have anybody who can sing it. The character is called the Italian tenor, but the Italian tenors don't train in a way that lets them sustain that kind of tessitura. See? And to get some, I don't know where from, Richard Strauss ever got the idea. Let's see, am I in the right key? Let's see. Yeah, I'm in the right key. I don't remember how it goes anymore. I sing it all the time. And they could call me at the last minute, and I could get up and sing that for some reason. And I think it was all that training I did, about breath of fire and all that, because that's what keeps the throat loose. And you don't get in trouble singing in the passaggio like that, like you do. If you're not careful, you'll tighten up here when you get a real high tessitura. And you're trying to make the voice has to get much more slender. That takes more energy. It's called an energy. But there's no energy producer like breath of fire. So, I can teach all day. I can sing all day, every day, even at my age. And the only reason is because of energy production. Okay? But also makes your heart beat better. What little thinking a tenor can do, it makes that little bit of thinking work better. Your appetite might grow. You can eat better too. But it's energy. Whatever you do with it, that's your business. Okay? I like to sing with it as long as I can sustain it, but I could never sustain it through a 5-hour opera. See? But there are people that Caruso did the famous 40-step walk for a couple hours every day. And I never got past 40 minutes. The longest I ever did it was 40 minutes, and I get it every day for several months. I could not get to 45 minutes. And I was only doing 8 steps, not 10 steps. So you do 10 steps breathing in, then you 10 steps holding it in, and that means abdomen in and weight under the whole process. And then you do 10 steps holding it. Then you let it out gradually, what Caruso called a contrary motion. You let your abdomen then gradually go back out, and your ribs will collapse like this. And you exhale for 10 steps, and be sure you time it so you're empty on the 10th step, or the 11th step. You should be empty. And then you hold empty for 10 steps. Imagine. So you breathe, hold it, let your abdomen sort of gradually fall out, and get it all the way out, and now hold it out and hold empty, and your back is squeezy like that, and now you breathe over and over. And he did that for 40 steps for a couple hours every day. Well, you know, no wonder he was a giant. He's a giant among singers. All right, well, I hope that gives you some ideas to think about, okay? Okay. Happy breath of fire. Bye.